Hello, welcome to another review. This time I want to talk about the Playmates Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles vs Street Fighter Leonardo vs Ryu 2-pack. Actually, scratch that. I just want to talk about the Street Fighter component of this 2-pack, which is Ryu. Sadly, that the only way as of now to acquire this Ryu figure is through this 2-pack. This is the only way to get it, which is a shame. I've been interested in this figure since it was announced, since we first saw the prototypes along with Chun-Li. In particular, Ryu, it's a character that I feel has had many attempts in action figure, various figure lines, and for me it never quite captures the look that I am looking for, and that is a look based mostly in the original Street Fighter 2 game all the way through Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And I think this one really captures some of the art of the original Street Fighter 2, the World Warrior. In a general note, it's a very fun figure to pose and handle. It's sturdy, there's no stuck joints, there's at no point a feeling that it's going to break on you as you pose it around. It's a very sturdy figure and I really appreciate that. I like the bulk of the figure. The general, it's not too muscular. It's obviously extremely muscular compared to a real life person, but in a video game and a comic book and that sort of media, this is more or less can considered as a normal athletic type body, and it really fits the character and the sprite art that you see in the game. One of the complaints I have seen about this figure is that some people were saying that this is a lazy reuse of the gi of the previous Cobra Kai figures, and that is not the case. The mold is not shared at all. So in the terms of the face sculpt, common complaints I have seen are that the eyebrows are sculpted on top of the headband, but that is actually accurate to the source material. The face has also been criticized, saying that it doesn't look like Ryu, the cheekbones are too pronounced, so on and so forth. I would say that in general terms, this whole figure is based most specifically to the art that you can see here in the back of the box it came in. This is art from the original Street Fighter 2 that was reused for some of the sequels, Champion Edition, and then in there you can see how Ryu in the art has a very thin, long nose, as well as very pronounced and angular cheekbones, which is I think what they tried to capture here in the action figure. This is the instruction manual for Street Fighter 2 Turbo for the Super Nintendo, and you can see additional art from the same artist that you can see was used as an inspiration for this figure. The hair, the facial features, and this is also shown in this art that shows the different special moves, Shoryuken, Tatsumaki, etc. This art was also featured in the material for Super Street Fighter 2 for the Super Nintendo, as you can see here. So we're not talking about a very obscure piece of media. This is the official art used for the game that no doubt was the inspiration for Ryu, in particular the head sculpt. Now this figure is not without its negatives. The only way to get this Ryu figure is through the 2-pack with Leonardo, the Ninja Turtle, and I consider that a negative point. I have also noticed how the red from his headband is already tinting the gi. Hard to see on camera, but there are some spots of very faint color pink already visible there. Also lower here, so I wonder where is that comes from, because the headband is not long enough to reach that part of the gi, and yet it also shows some of that pink coloration. I would say it was a missed opportunity to add articulation here at the knot, because if you were able to move this piece of the bandana around, it would give the figure a lot of personality and variety in poses. Another thing is that the articulation is very good in general, right? And the wrist can bend inside, but there's not much range of motion out. It stops right there, so you are not able to properly replicate the Hadoken pose because of that, and that's a bit of a shame. Now, the biggest drawback of this figure is that it doesn't have peg holes on the bottom of his feet. I really hate that. That I would say it's the biggest drawback of this figure. Now, personally, I think I'm gonna go ahead and customize this guy a little bit. I think I'm gonna get rid of that coloring of his lips. It kind of detracts from the accuracy of the face sculpt or the face look in general. And I think I'm gonna give him a little bit of brown dry brush on the hair. Now, I don't have Sota Ryu to compare it to, but I do have Ken. So as you can see, size-wise, scale-wise, are very similar. Come on, Ken. But the styles, come on. The styles are very different. With Ken, smaller head compared to Ryu, huge feet, very stylized. So they don't quite match, but close enough, I guess. And here he is surrounded by other Ryu action figures that I have acquired over the years, including fake figure arts that we reviewed before. To sum it up, not a perfect figure, but a very solid representation of the character. It has some flaws. As I said, I'm going to attempt to get rid of that lip color and adding some dry brush to the hair. Very curious to see how it's gonna look then, and if I'm successful, I'll share that with you. So I did it. I went back and repainted his face. All the skin tone of face have been repainted, and that got rid of the lip color. I also reduced the size of the pupils a little bit, adjusted the eyebrows a little bit, and added some light dry brushing brown to the hair.